Everybody, it's Wendy from Cinnamon Sweet Shop. Today I'm going to show you how I make my Biscoff Hamantaschen cookies. So what you'll need for this is some whole wheat pastry flour, a little bit of sea salt. I'm going to be using my Earth Balance vegan buttery sticks. You can use unsalted butter if you don't happen to have this around. An egg, vanilla extract, organic sugar, baking powder. I'm going to be using a little bit of almond milk, but you can use any kind of milk you would like. And of course I'm going to be using some Biscoff cookie spread. And you'll also need some dark or semi-sweet chocolate. Begin by beating the sugar and the softened butter or your buttery sticks until smooth and creamy. We're going to add in the remaining liquid ingredients. So I'm going to start with the egg, the milk, and the vanilla extract. Continue beating until well combined. Sift together the flour, salt, and baking soda. Add the dry mixture into the wet mixture until it's well incorporated. If your dough is too soft and sticky, you can add more flour, about 1/4 cup at a time, until it's firm. If you're wondering what the perfect dough should look like, this is it. It's not so soft that if I touch it, it's sticking to my finger. It's a little bit tacky, but it's fine the way it is. But it's not rolling off the spoon either, so it's not too firm. Next, we're going to wrap the dough in some plastic wrap and refrigerate it for at least an hour. On a lightly floured surface, lightly floured rolling pin, roll your dough to about 1/4 inch thickness. I'm using a 2.5 to 3 inch round cookie cutter, and you want to lightly flour that as well. And we're going to cut some circles into this dough. Now I like to use the fluted side, but you can use a straight edge one as well. Doesn't really matter. My cutout cookies are on a silicone mat on a baking sheet about 1 inch apart from one another. I have a teaspoon, I have 1/2 teaspoon rather, with the Biscoff cookie spread, and I'm just going to place that right in the center of the cookie. Now I'm going to show you how to shape these cookies into that triangular shape. We're going to take 2 sides of this cookie and squeeze it together, and then take this last remaining side and bring it up to the others, squeezing the ends together, and there you have your triangle. When these bake, they are going to flatten. So we want to make sure that they keep their shape. So to do that, the trick is to put these in the freezer for about 10 minutes. While they're in the freezer, you could preheat your oven to 400, and as soon as they're done out of the freezer, you just pop them right in the oven. I had these in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to pop them into the oven, 400-degree oven, for 7 to 8 minutes. Let your cookies cool to room temperature. Melt the chocolate. Now if you find your chocolate's a little too thick, you could add just a little bit of shortening or oil, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon at a time, just enough so it'll pour out in a very fine hull. Now I'm using a parchment cone. If you're not familiar with using parchment cones, you could also use a Ziploc bag and just snip off the very tip, or you could use a pastry bag as well. So with my melted chocolate, just going to drizzle the Hamantaschen. I'm going to let the chocolate on these cookies set before I move them to a cookie dish. Don't forget this recipe is at my website at cinnamonsweetshop.com, linked below. Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel for much more. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. See you next time.